Well, good morning, folks. I'm here in the CH750 Cruzer with the 118 horsepower UL350i engine. And as you can see, I've got my laptop, my workstation laptop with me here, and it's plugged into the ECU for the engine. And we're going to be recording the piece of software called ULread, which is supplied by UL Power. And we're going to be recording our flight, and we'll be recording what the ECU is reading. So I've just started the software. You can see the RPM is indicating on here, and we get manifold pressure, throttle position 44%, ECU voltage, ECU temperature, oil temperature, and air temperature. And these are basically the same inputs that the ECU is receiving. And so we're going to start the recording session here, record this session, and open it here, and we'll say CRZ, and then we'll put in today's date, which is, what are we today, the 22nd, March 22nd, 19, and save. Okay, so we'll be recording that, and here we go, a little bit larger view of what we see. I don't know how well we can see that on here, but we're still on the ground, so anyway, we'll taxi out. We'll fly around a little bit recording all this, even telling us our fuel flow here, 1.4 gallons an hour here at 1150 RPM. Beautiful morning here in Mexico, Missouri. Second day of spring.
2,000, temperature 9 Celsius, dew point 2, altimeter 3017.
Just set our altimeter here. Here we go.
Mexico Memorial Airport. Automated weather observation 1553. Zulu weather wind 330 at 7. Visibility 10. Clear below 12,000. Temperature 9 Celsius. Dew point 2. Altimeter 3017.
Okay. And I'll let them know what we're doing here.
Mexico traffic, experimental is holding at runway 36, Mexico.
Okay, so we'll do our run-ups here. Again, the software is running. We can read our RPM on the software here. So we'll do up to 1800 RPM, which is our standard run-up here. Right at 1800 RPM. Looking on the panel here, it's exactly the same here, obviously. Getting the same information, I believe. So 1800, everything's smooth, warming up. We'll do a mag ignition check, left, right, and you can see on the up here when I do that, it goes on and off as I do that. So that's a good check there. We'll check our fuel pump here. This is our auxiliary fuel pump. There are two fuel pumps. That works fine. Fuel flow at 1800 RPM is up to 2.88 gallons. Everything's checking out really well.
Mexico, Bonanza 25 kilos, clear of 36, Mexico. Correction, clear of 24, Mexico.
Okay, yeah. So he's on the ground. We can go whenever we want. Okay, so for takeoff, I'm going to set this down here on the passenger seat, secure it so it doesn't fly out. Set our doors are closed, my seatbelt is good. Fuel on the full tank, and we're all set. Here we go.
And Mexico traffic, experimental will be departing runway 36, local flight, Mexico.
Okay, our flaps are up. And we'll do our normal takeoff, which is we'll basically pull the back on the stick, As soon as the nose is off the ground, we'll release pressure on the nose a little bit and just let the airplane fly itself off. We've got a beautiful morning day, a little bit of a crosswind surprisingly. And here we go, Bonanza's on the ground. I'm going to turn off my cabin heater because I guess this is a spring day where we don't need cabin heat anymore. Kind of a nice change for us. And I'm going to lock our throttle here in position, and I'm going to pull up my laptop shortly to make sure that we are still recording. There we go. Yeah, still recording. Everything looks good. We're climbing here. Well, we're a little bit fast right now, but climbing about, low 70s and nearly 1,000 feet per minute rate of climb. This airplane really likes to climb. And we're in the CH750 Cruzer model, which is the non-STOL version of the CH750 airplane. And let me tell you, if we didn't have a STOL, we would still call this a STOL airplane because still very much a good short takeoff and landing performer relative to most other airplanes out there, and also a good cruise airplane as well. Really very pleased with the efficiency of this design. Really provides good overall performance, short takeoff and landing, as well as good cruise takeoff and climb. Just an overall a good airplane to fly. So we'll level off here a little bit, and you can probably see the location of the camera is a little bit below my eyesight, so the nose is going to be fly a little bit nose up than I'm seeing right now, but in cruise configuration, this airplane really has excellent over-the-nose visibility and really fantastic all-around visibility as well. So I've throttled back a little bit, 2,500 RPM. Fuel flow is at 5.5 gallons an hour right now. And do a nice bank over here. We'll do a few banks around. And again, recording our RPM here. I'll get this up here where I don't know, I doubt we can see this in the bright glare, but here we've got RPM, fuel pressure, oil pressure, manifold pressure, throttle position, right now 62%, which, yeah, that's about right, 2450. I typically like to fly at about 2550, which is, I believe, we'll see what it is, 2550 here. And throttle position exactly 65%. That's typically what I cruise at, 65%, which is considered typically economy cruise, and that's right around 6 gallons per hour. And also here we got the ECU temp, oil temperature, and air temperature. And these are some of the inputs that the ECU, the engine control unit, uses to always monitor to make sure the best mixture control and so forth. And to give you a little bit of background, we had installed this engine in this cruiser earlier this summer, or last year in the summer. We're already spring of 2019. So in summer of 2018, we installed the 118 horsepower 350i engine in this airplane. And we were having intermittent problems. The ECU light would turn on kind of just haphazardly, wouldn't give us any notice or anything else. And of course the engine still runs fine when the ECU light is on, except the engine, the ECU light goes off or on, I guess, depending which way you go, but it lights up when one of the inputs on the ECU unit one of the inputs from the engine is not registering properly. And so the engine then goes into a full rich mode, kind of a limp home mode, so to speak. It still operates just fine, but it's running much richer. And so we wanted to figure out what the problem was. We tried diagnosing it and didn't have much success with it. we ultimately sent it back to UL Power, and they sent us a replacement unit. And since we've been flying the replacement unit, we haven't had any issues at all. So, which is why I guess it was some kind of a faulty ECU unit that has been replaced and taken care of. So here we're still economy cruise, 2600 RPM now, which on the throttle position, it's only 64%, still 64. I guess I'm nose down just a little bit. And maybe we'll do a few runs back and forth at different RPM settings, looking at the speed and so forth. Right now we're indicating 106 miles per hour. And that's again a full economy cruise. 2600 RPM. And I see we've got a little bit of a headwind. The wind was primarily from the north-northwest this morning. So we'll go ahead and head south. Change our heading. We're at 2700 RP, or 2700 feet above sea level right now. And it's a beautiful spring day. So, okay, so I'm going to throttle up to about 2700 RPM this time here, right at 2700 RPM. Turn the ECU unit back on, exactly 2700 RPM. 2700 RPM is 70% power setting. And level off a little bit. Again, this airplane likes to climb, so I always have to push the nose down a little bit. By default, I always end up climbing just a little bit. Okay, we're right pretty much level, and right here, 2700 RPM. Oh, we've crept up a little bit on the RPM. Okay, I'm going to throttle back just a shade here. Hold level, 115 miles an hour at 2700 RPM, which is again, throttle position, it's telling me 2700 at 66% power setting. And 115 mile an hour cruise speed. We have a ground adjustable Sensenik prop on there right now, and it seems to be about the optimum setting for both takeoff and climb performance as well as cruise. So it's really, giving us the best of both worlds, which is why we've been flying with this setting for quite a while right now. So we'll keep straight and level here, 2700 RPM, and again, 66% power setting, cruise 115 miles per hour, true airspeed of 118 miles per hour, and ground speed of 138 miles per hour. As you can see, we've got some bit of a tailwind right now, but we'll turn it around and head back to Mexico soon. And the ECU unit, we're still controlling it real well. And right now we're showing at 6.5 gallons per hour, 66% throttle position, and ground speed of about 150, or airspeed of 115 miles per hour, ground speed of nearly 140 right now. Okay, so I'm going to turn here to the east from the south. Nice and gentle turn. Again, you can see the visibility, and again, that top window, what a wonderful thing that is to see all around us. We've had a watch for birds lately, a lot of birds around here, but right now this morning I haven't seen anything out, so that's a good sign. So now we'll have a bit of a crosswind from the left, from the north, and still leveling off. Okay, we're going to go up to 2750 RPM here just for a little bit. Get our ground speed up a little bit higher. And
awesome.
So I'm going to head straight north from here. And I'll just out here, we're in the country. We've got farm roads, go due north, north-south, and due east-west. So it's pretty easy to find our bearings in that respect. So we're going to go due north now. Level off. Look for traffic out here. And we're going to go 2800 RPM. holding our altitude, 117, 118 miles an hour. Nice and smooth here, nice calm air right now. And on our ECU setting, showing at 7 gallons per hour, 73%. 73% throttle position. And 2,800 RPM. We're still climbing a little bit, shoot. And climbing at still 160 miles an hour. Level off, we're like 118, 119 miles per hour. Of course, our ground speeds drop down to 90 miles an hour because we have a headwind of 35 miles an hour. But we're not going anywhere today, so we're perfectly happy, whatever. Okay, 120 mile an hour cruise speed right now. So, and our oil temperature, pressure, everything's just fine. Doing really well. Our fuel burn is 7.1 gallons per hour at 2850 right now, 124 miles per hour. So, and this engine running still, everything is nice and smooth. It's a little bit louder, you can feel it, but everything nice and smooth at those higher.
36 with the entering downwind for landing runway 360, northbound traffic.
So, okay, I'm going to throttle it back now to 2,500 RPM. 2,500 RPM, fuel goes down to 5.8 gallons per hour. Our speeds drop down about 109 miles per hour. See, now we're back in the economy setting. And quite frankly, that's oftentimes, you know, when I'm flying local, that's kind of the RPM setting, between 25 and 2,600 RPM. I find the engines runs a little bit smoother, it's a little bit quieter. Our fuel flow goes down to under 6 gallons an hour. And again, when we're not really in a rush to go anywhere, it really doesn't affect our time to destination by any noticeable ways. So I'm going to monitor now our ASOS and see where we land on runway 36 or 24 coming back in.
Mexico Memorial Airport. Automated weather observation 1610 Zulu, weather, wind 330 at 6, visibility 7, clear below 12,000, temperature 10 Celsius, dew point 2, altimeter 3018.
So runway 36 is still definitely the preferred runway to land on, so we'll do that. Probably can't quite see it in the camera, but as I turn here, you'll see Mexico here on my left. I'm at 2,600 feet, still plenty high. I'll plan just a gentle descent, fly overhead the field, and then join the left downwind for runway 36. And we're still recording nicely. And that's one of the nice things about the ECU unit. You know, the computer does all the work, and this software gives you the ability to see what's going on. And and then, you know, if there are any problems, you can analyze those problems and so forth. So, really like the improvements of going with the ECU on a modern light aircraft engine. And you know, the UL Power engine, it's a conventional aircraft engine in the sense that it's a traditional boxer configuration, horizontally opposed, 4-cylinder, air-cooled, direct drive, and which to me makes a lot of sense for light aircraft engines. And on the flip side, you know, it's a modern ignition system, modern fuel delivery system with the fuel injection system. So it just makes it's a good marriage, I think, of modern technology and traditional aircraft technology, and it seems to work really quite well.
Mexico traffic, experimental Zenith is joining the mid-left downwind for runway 36, Mexico.
So I'll move this out of the way here. And we're a little bit high, so I'll throttle everything down nicely. So I still have a clean configuration, flaps are still up, throttle back here in the mid-70s. I'm at the speed now where I can deploy my flaps, put my flaps down, so I'll just put a little bit of flap down. Then I'll do a quick check, my doors, seat belt, fuel, all that is good. We'll actually switch to our full tank here. And keep slowing it down. We got to lose quite a bit of altitude still, so we'll throttle right back. In the 60s now, 60, 65, which is a good approach speed, I find. Throttle all the way back now, showing 1 gallon per hour at just idle RPM nearly.
Mexico traffic, experimental is turning left base for 36 Mexico.
Still high 50s, 60 mile an hour. And I'll put my flaps all the way down. I may be just a little bit out for full flap, but we can always add a little bit of power.
And Mexico traffic, experimental is turning base to final, runway 36 Mexico.
Adding just a little bit of power here. We've got the train tracks with power lines on the south side, so I always like to come in a little bit higher than I need to on that. Nicely lined up with runway 36 here at Mexico Memorial. And low 60s, full idle RPM, no power at all. Now we're in the 50s. We'll see if we can come in all the way without adding any power. Still in the 50s. Well, pretty good. Nicely timed. Nice and slow in the 40s, 30s, and here on the ground. When we get on the ground, it indicates in the 20s, but I think the pitot tube attitude is probably not quite as accurate when it gets that low. And pull the flaps back up. And so, we did a good recording of this flight, and we'll be sharing this information with the UL Power folks. They wanted to have a look at our ECU readings. We had sent them the readings when we were having the occasional faults, and now that we're not getting those anymore, we're going to be sending them this the file so that they can, I guess, do a comparison between the two. And it's always interesting to isolate where a problem is, why it happened, whether it's just a faulty unit or faulty connection, things like that. So, well, it was my pleasure going flying this morning and sharing this information with you. And let us know if you have any questions about building and flying your own Zenith.